What you are about to see is real. All video and audio was captured in an actual paranormal investigation. Nothing has been manufactured or staged. On this episode of Local Haunts, we head back to a popular location that we had previously investigated. We are once again investigating the radio stations known as 99.9 Gator Country and Light 96.1. On our previous investigation, some of the radio station staff tagged along and experienced the paranormal firsthand. Literally.
You have one standing next to you, a female. So I'm going to teach you how to feel.
Ironically, it's a female next to the women's side. Oh, she's got a nice little tingle. So what you're going to do is you're going to start your hand out here, away from her.
You're going to want to pull back. If you're in her, you're going to kind of become...
It's kind of like having your hand in lukewarm water. After a while, you don't feel the water anymore, so you want to be out here.
Out here.
And then you want to slide into her.
Whoa. Come on, Steve, your turn.
Whoa, no, that did not just happen.
It just happened, yeah.
That did not just happen.
What did you feel?
Just like electricity through my fingers tingling.
But I heard rock and roll.
Is that right?
Okay.
When I take these back to the studio and clean them up, you can understand what I say about it.
That's obvious. I mean, that you heard. I'm not imagining.
Who saw something in here?
I heard.
Who saw it? I didn't see. Have you been hallucinating and thinking you're seeing stuff walking on the floor? Things on the floor like feet. Right there. Things on the floor like feet. Right there.
Whoa.
That's a good one.
What the? That wasn't one of us? That wasn't one of us.
No.
You hear it? Ooh.
That's a class A right there.
That's a rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Wow.
Gator Country.
So,
So we're hearing you.
Who got punched in the nose up here hard?
When she was talking about the nose hurting, before anybody got here, I was sitting here and here doing my thing, eating and whatever, and my nose was really hurting, and it was bleeding.
Ah.
wow.
Thank
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a freak of nature, dude.
Who flies like airplanes here?
Just after Pamela asked if anyone attached to the radio station flies airplanes, our cameras called a Class A EVP. It's what I call an eavesdrop EVP because it's a communication between spirits that we were not meant to hear. But the cameras picked it up. Here it is again.
Who flies like airplanes here?
Brenda?
Oh, the owner.
Yeah.
The owner.
He was
And his son.
his son. They both have a pilot's
Right.
Okay, yeah, it's like this little.
And he was here.
Okay.
He was
Thursday?
here Wednesday
Okay.
afternoon, Thursday.
Tuesday,
All right.
Wednesday. That's
So
Tuesday,
that's just.
Yes.
They're here. They were in the space.
Yes.
It links to me their experiences. That's what happens. Is I'm all of a sudden seeing two men. I'm sorry I didn't say that, but
That makes
flying an
sense.
airplane. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow, boy, that does.
Good, Steve. Didn't even think about that one.
We had cleared the space of many of those who dwelled there, but now there are new earthbound spirits that have taken residence in the broadcast building. What will we find this time? Find out as we explore local haunts. Hello and welcome to Local Haunts. I'm your host, Steve Christian. Joining me as usual is my better half, Pamela Theresa, medium in the raw, along with Savannah Huffingham and Tommy Riggins, and from 99.9 Gator Country, Steve Sutton, and his better half, Michelle Stallions. And the investigation starts right now. You can leave the lights off. Oh, nice.
And obviously we've redone this.
Yeah.
You know,
This was the dark area last time we were here.
very much so.
Okay.
But it was a cube farm then.
We're back with Steve Sutton again from 99.9 Gator Country. You guys called us back in because there's more spiritual shenanigans going on.
It was real quiet around here for a while. A little too quiet.
A little too quiet.
There was a morning when I came in and I just had this feeling there was something a little amiss. And when I got upstairs to our studio, I found out there was more than just a little bit that was off the beaten path.
You're the first one here in the morning, right?
Yeah, it's usually between 4:30 and 4:45, and no one else is here. It's very quiet, and that's when I found out that we had a little problem, not only in our broadcast studio, but with our broadcast signal.
Oh.
And it was a problem that in years of having everything on the radio station, commercial and music, all generated by a computer, I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that when I walked upstairs, one of the microphones was on. The on-air light was on in the hallway, and it wasn't to where anything that was broadcast could be heard, but the fact that it was on is a mechanical process. You have to push a button.
Really?
And I know that there hadn't been anybody in the building for 12 hours.
Huh.
So that's where it got a little bit odd and went from there. And also the fact that I called my boss. He says, okay, we're going to have to take us off the air for a little bit so I could reboot the computer, because he'd never seen a problem with it either. And this guy's like an expert in that operating system, Mr. Expert. And I'm hearing, I've never seen this before. That's unusual. And stuff like that. It's crazy. So he took us off the air for 5 minutes, but we were playing a song that was coming out on the air with no levels on our meters showing that there was any music.
Well, you were technically off the air.
Well, we were technically off the air, and the great thing was it was a song by Rodney Atkins called "Watching You," and that's what I thought. Okay, there's more here than meets the eye once again.
Again, right?
Yeah. So, and this is you know, as you guys proved before, this is a really active building for whatever reason. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's like I'm thinking this was just the tip of the iceberg.
Neat. Now, after we were here before, we did a little bit of a cleansing, and we actually helped some the lost souls over here kind of transition and move on.
Quite a few.
You witnessed that.
Yes.
Did it kind of level out after that for a while?
It did.
The energy was better?
It was at rest. I mean, as close as anything could be to being at rest. And I just, for something to happen that abruptly, like it did the other day, it's like, okay, they're back.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, I'm not used to it, but I'm more accustomed to being open to the other side.
Right.
Open to possibilities because of everything that's happened here before. When I saw everything that was going on, I said out loud, I said, come on guys, this is the best you got. Because I knew it was just something that was, number one, I don't think it was in any way malevolent, because if it would have been, I probably would have been able to sense it.
Right.
And it's just kind of a practical joke sort of thing.
Yeah.
That we could fix, it's just like we had to go out of our way to do it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that's the light side, because we did find some pretty disturbing things here last time. In this room, as a matter of fact. So.
Yeah, this is, we're down in the, what was this? We did like a cube farm?
This used to be the cube farm. We've turned it into our live performance room. That's why we've got the swanky banner and everything, and it's nicely painted and all that. But this was a room that was particularly dark before.
Right.
And Amadeus has said on a couple times that he's walked through here in a situation like this when there's only one, maybe me in the building or just him, where he felt something wasn't right.
Right.
So I figured it'd be a great time to have you guys come back and take a look, and let's learn about our new neighbors and co-workers here.
Well, let's see what Pamela picks up on, because she hasn't heard all this yet, so it'd be nice to see what she's going to come in blind on this and see what she picks up on.
Well, it's upstairs and downstairs like it was last time.
Right.
So.
Well, we'll probably be all over the place.
I'm anxious.
Awesome.
I'm anxious. This will be good.
This will be fun. Let's do it.
Cool.
Coming up on Local Haunts,
He's 5'11".
Okay.
So he's all right.
Would he,
Yeah, you're about 5'11", right? Okay, so he's your height,
would
but he's
he
skinny.
make me throw up out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
You guys rolling? Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. We're gonna head upstairs first.
I'm gonna follow you.
I'm gonna put this in the garbage.
You are the Geiger counter. Of,
You were the what of the what or something?
you were the what?
That's good.
She ran off now.
She's been RV Indian OFT.
She would have been. Yeah, this is our notorious.
Yeah, this hallway, this staircase was kind of a point of interest last time too.
It definitely was.
Has that changed a little bit?
It's not as obvious as it was,
Not as warm?
but at the same time, sometimes there is a little vertigo feeling at the top of the stairs.
I felt that. I feel like.
And I don't know whether it's a subconscious thing, but I always make an effort to know that I'm hitting every step.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of just taking it for granted
Uh-huh.
because
Yep.
We just caught our first EVP of the investigation. It seems one of the Earthbound spirits recognized Pamela from our previous investigation. Here is the EVP filtered and amplified. Which
It's,
on-air light was the one that was on?
the one right over here
That's
in
where
our
I'm
Gator
headed.
studio.
And that's your studio, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll show you exactly what was happening
Okay.
when I walked in. There was music playing, but it didn't match the music that's here on our normal playlist. And that was on. But I could hear music playing. You're not supposed to hear music playing when a microphone is open. Now, we're not going out over the air or anything, but at the same time, I'm not supposed to be able to hear anything.
Right.
But music was playing. And then when we finally shut this off completely, that's when the Rodney Atkins song called Watching You came on. And I knew that
Was
there
that even on the playlist?
No. And I couldn't turn it off. I had nowhere that I could go to turn it off and make it stop.
Interesting.
And, I mean, this is, anytime you have something like this, there's going to be issues. Because it runs 24/7.
Right.
And there will be problems. But this was one special. I'd never seen anything like it, and I've been in radio long enough with technology like this long enough to know that something was definitely off.
Right.
So, and again, this is a totally mechanical process. To turn that microphone off, you physically have to hit the button,
Right. And that turns the on-air light on.
and it turns the light on that's out in the hallway. And that's what I first noticed. It's like, okay, this is wrong. And the first thing I did that was wrong, I saw the light on, and I heard music.
So who's the last person in that night before?
They probably leave at 7. So,
No chance they could have left that on?
no. I think the last person out of here, out of this room, is out by 5:30. And they never, this isn't even the main on-air microphone. This is one for over in the corner. So, yeah, it was a little disconcerting.
Is there a way to mute that now?
And how many years have you been here, Steve?
I've been here for almost 11 years, over 11
And then
years.
before that, I mean, you've been in radio for.
Since, well, see, Marconi invented it, and then he hired me. And he said, this kid's gonna last. But, I mean, I've done it for the better part of 38 years.
Wow.
And
You've
I've
been in radio as
done,
long as I've been on TV.
yeah, I mean, I've
And
done
so
it.
this sort of thing, it's never happened.
No, nothing like this. I've seen some weird things at radio stations, because when you start off, you work in the middle of the night. And when I first moved here to Jacksonville, there was a radio station in McClenny that was playing country music. And I just noticed this place was bizarre. There was a very odd, cold, weird feeling about it. And that's when I asked around, and I found out that before they changed it to a radio station, It was a funeral home. And so it started to add up all the things that I would see. It's like, all of our glass is double paned, and you can catch funny reflections off it and stuff like that. And that taught me that if you see what you think are eyes looking back at you that don't belong there, they're probably eyes that are looking back at you that don't belong there.
That is so funny. I was a young kid babysitting, and I literally called the police on a ghost once.
Really?
I told her, did I ever tell you that
Yeah,
story?
you did. You saw eyes that looking through the window.
And they weren't my eyes.
Well,
And there was tracks in the snow.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing was this room had weird angles to it, and there were windows in weird places. So the skeptical side of me that hadn't really been opened up to possibilities, I think I spent 3 nights in a row trying to figure out where this red glow came from. Was it from a tube in the back of the board? Because that was back in the day when you still had, tubes. Not everything was digital the way it is now. And so I'd walk around and I'm sitting there going, okay, I debunked that, and I debunked this, and I went through this whole list, and so by the time I kind of put it at the back of my mind, the next night, they were back. Kind of like, yeah, you can waste all the time you want, pal, but it's a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. We will dominate the space.
Yeah.
Coming up on Local Haunts.
He's 5'11".
Okay.
So you're all right.
Would he,
Yeah, you're about 5'11", right? Okay, so he's your height,
would
but he's
he
skinny.
make me throw up out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you experienced your eyes burning a little bit in here?
There's dryness
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
I mean,
So is that normal for a radio station?
no,
Okay.
normally it's pretty well climate controlled.
Right. So that's
And there's
one thing I'm
days-
picking up on here.
There's days when this room will be ice cold,
Uh-huh.
and if there were a way that we could be on the radio with the door open, it would be raining in the doorway because it's so hot out there.
Right.
So there's a lot of disparity.
Different
And
energy
room
in here.
temperatures.
Yeah. That was one of the first things I picked up on when I walked in here. My eyes started burning.
Now, your co-host Eden.
That was one of the first things I picked up on when I walked in here. My eyes started burning. That was one of the first things I picked up on when I walked in here. My eyes started burning. That was one of the first things I picked up on when I walked in here. My eyes started burning.
Now, your co-host Eden, she's not a big believer in any of this.
No, she's not.
But did she ever come to you and said, "Hey, man, there's some"?
She would never admit it.
Sometimes people who are uber sensitive, and they just don't want to go there, they have to
Actually,
block it all out.
Yeah.
So,
Amadeus is, though.
Mhm.
I mean, he's very open because of conversations that he's had with you. This is, I look at it this way, this is your house too.
Do you have to
Thank you.
be here first thing in the morning?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so-
I'm trying to keep you too late.
Don't do, yeah. You know what, if I drag it here blurry, guess what? It's
You'll know why your eyes are hurting.
It's, it's still a higher level of broadcasting than most people can perform.
Exactly.
Exactly, really it is.
Yeah, that's why the room's stuffy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's got a lot warmer in here.
It did. Actually, it did.
It is warmer in here.
I'm just like, wait a minute, you're not just, it's just,
No, I'm getting all tingly.
It's a little stale, isn't it?
I can feel it, the shift.
I had to explain our history to our. We've got a new general manager and we have a new program director. And so when I was on the phone with my program director, Randy, he was walking me through this, and I'm the biggest troglodyte there is, so I'm just letting him do it from home. And he's looking at things, he's going, I've never seen it. It's never done this before. And he did that 3 or 4 times, and that's when I brought up, I jokingly brought it up. I said, we need to get somebody in here to smudge this building or something. And he laughed and laughed, and I said, he said, you're serious? I said, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went into the fact, I said, we have a bit of a history here.
Yes.
And that's where he kind of went right back to troubleshooting, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to sit down with you and show you some video.
Next time on Local Haunts.
He's 5'11".
Okay.
So you're all right.
Would he,
Yeah, you're about 5'11", right? Okay, so he's your height,
would
but he's
he
skinny.
make me throw up out of nowhere?
Yeah.